Ciao my friends, in this video we are now going to look at how we can use Power BI to complete the design of really powerful visualizations for either executives or even investors. So in our first video we showed you an introduction to what we are actually creating by using Canva and Power BI. In our second video we showed you a detail how to use Canva to design the background images, and now in this video I'm going to show you how we put everything together. Okay, so now let's move onto my screen and let's get on. Okay, so this is Power BI. Okay, so I just open a new file, and I'm going to import my database that I've got on the company's market cap. And this database, I found it just online, something on electric vehicles. It has been the recent one as of the end of the year of 2021. So I know that my data sits in table 2. So I'm just going to load it. Of course, we need to check if we need to do some kind of formatting of the data. So let's see, give it a sec. The database is really small, so our cleaning will be incredibly fast as well. So let's go into the transform of the data. Let me just review how the data got imported. Okay, here we are. Okay, so market capitalization. I know that this should be in decimal numbers because it's basically to reach the dollar value of the market. And now the price is already in decimal place, so yeah, and the rest is fine. So now let's run it. Okay. First, I know that we need to prepare our data and also any potential measures. So I know that I need to create 2 measures. One that will tell me what is the share of the market share by country, and as well as by manufacturer. So let's start with a simple measure. So the first one is going to be the market share percentage by country. So you need to create a variable for the all market, as well as, and then carry out the division between the market capitalization of a specific country across all markets. So that's one. And then make sure that you turn the format into a percentage. I'm going to keep it as 2 decimal places. The second measure is going to be very similar to how we created the first one, but this is just going to be based on the name of the manufacturer. So the first one related more to the country, and this one is going to relate to the name of the manufacturer. Okay, let's OK it. Again, don't forget to click on the percentage, and I'm keeping it with 2 decimal places. Okay, so I've got my data already linked. I've prepared a couple of measures, and now what we need to do is to start bringing in these designs that we have created in Canva and embed them into the page background, and I'm going to create a few slides, and I'm going to take them out of the PowerPoint presentation and bring them in one by one. So I'll just give you an example of the first one. So what I'll do is, there are different ways how you can do it, but I'll just pick up the first image like so, and I'm going to save it, let's say in the YouTube video. So like, I'm just going to save it there like so, and I'm going to maybe call it like slide 1 as an example, and so on. Okay, and then you just do it with every one of the slides you wish to import into the Power BI. Okay, so I'm not going to take you through every slide how I actually took a snapshot and so on. I mean, this is the simple part. So now when we go into our Power BI, so now we are going to start bringing in these slides. So let's go with the slide 1. So it's going to be embedded in the background. Right now it's set at a full transparency. So we are going to change also the image fit to be fit like that. Okay, and I'm just going to call it menu, and then I'm going to go on to the second one. So it's really, the embedding is very quick. Again, make sure it's the transparency, it's at 0% fit. Just to give you an example, if you want to fill it, sometimes it can be too distorted, so I like to use a fit. Okay, so that's done. Let's go into slide. Like so. So we've got already prepared all the backgrounds. In the future, in case you need to expand on your background, on your to add more pages, all you need to do is just really duplicate a page, and the same design will always continue. So this is really cool stuff. That don't worry that you don't need to embed the image every time like we've just done, but you can just duplicate the page. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to create the navigation menu. So what we do, we go insert into navigator and page navigation. Okay, so now we have embedded the navigation page, and now we can actually play around with the design. So to fill it, I like to use black color. Under the text, I'm going to choose a nice kind of like a greenish color, something like that. You can choose whatever you want. Maybe like that. You can use whatever you need. Okay. The choices are yours, honestly. It comes down really to your preference. You can also design a globe with different effects, so we can still actually create something of a greenish color. As you can see, it just really comes down to your own imagination, and so on. Okay, you can use other shadows as well, and you can use nice blue color, so it adds the effects on the bottom. Okay, so the menu is done. Now we need to rename the pages. So when the executives look at your slides, they can quickly understand as well, okay, we will be looking at maybe 9 pages, and these are kind of the high-level topics. And how we do it is we can do just visualize. I'm just going to rename it here. This is, we can call it market cap. We can call this Tesla. This can be trends. Okay, so now we have completed the menu design. And what you can do is just simply, first of all, let's adjust it. Okay, so everything can fit. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and now what we can do is just copy. And let's paste it into every page, like so. So then it doesn't matter where you are, you can nicely navigate to any page within Power BI. So, okay, so this is done. Now let's go, and we are going to customize the visualizations based on what is specific to my presentation. Okay, so first thing first, so I'm going to rename this to be intro. Okay, so my name of the presentation is going to be about Tesla and the electric vehicle market. So I'm choosing specifically the Tesla as kind of the red color to stand out, and because in the future I can choose, maybe I can do another video on Lucid Motors as an example. So that again, it just gives you an idea what you don't want to change, and then here you've got an opportunity to update it, either with a new month, new year, or a different manufacturer. I also wanted to bring in the Tesla logo because we are talking about Tesla, so it's visually, everyone will know that in this presentation I'm talking about the electric vehicle market, specifically with focusing on Tesla, and I'm using tools like Canva and Power BI. Okay, now let's move on to the next page. So in this page, we have already embedded the narratives, so I don't need to do much more, and I'm actually quite happy with the design. So now let me move on to the next page. So here, if you remember, I need to bring in some data, okay? And we've already built some of these KPIs. So now I'm just going to bring in the measures, and then also I'll bring in some narratives. So first, I want to comment on the size of the electric vehicle market. So I brought in some narratives. Second, for the disclosure, I'm also want to advise my audience where I'm getting my data from. Okay, so I'm going to be bringing in the resources. Okay, so these are the resources. And next, okay, let's actually now look at the measures. Okay, so for the measures, I'm using the market capitalization. So I don't need any filters because this is just really speak to the size of the whole market of electric vehicles, which sits at $1.2 trillion. And then what I'm going to do, because I like the design, I'm just going to copy and paste. And in here, I'm going to bring in just purely the Tesla's percentage of the market share. And how I do it is by bringing in the name of the manufacturer. So I actually filter it on Tesla only. Okay, and it sits at 79.4%. So again, another slide is done. And of course, when you're presenting, you'll be speaking more to the content. So maybe you're only talking about two numbers, but your knowledge of the electric vehicle market is much larger. So you don't want to kind of like overpower your presentations with too much detail. Under the trends, this just is going to give you an idea that sometimes you can just use a background picture, and then maybe you need to embed some kind of specific image that you found online. Again, make sure that you cite where it has come from. So for this page, I'm going to choose something on there was an article published by EY on disruptive technology trends, and I really like this. I didn't want to recreate it. I want to give credit, of course, to the publisher. Now let's move on to the global market, and this is, for me, is one of the most powerful visualization, and this is how we can embed the KPIs. So here we are really talking about the KPIs by the country. Okay, so we are just going to bring that in. Oops. Okay, I'm going to use card. And also, because we are using the country, so I'm just going to pick Canada. Okay. And then I just play with the background color. So I want it to be totally transparent. And I don't need the category name. And then just let's go to the data label. And I'm going to use black color. And I'm going to make it maybe 20, size 20, because I, of course, need to fit it into this window. So we can still use a little bit smaller font, like so. Okay, and now I'm going to repeat it for all the other countries. So once when I have brought in all the numbers, I've also have, do you see like how I knew before we actually brought it in from Canva that I'll be using it kind of for my subtitle, and then also you've got like other narrative that I want to bring in just to enhance the presentation. Okay, now if we move on to the next, under the compete, I'm going to bring in all the manufacturers by their ranking. And how I do it is, of course, I'm just bringing in the name and then making sure that they only always pick up rank. So if this actually changes, we will have an update in our dashboard accordingly. So I'm just going to change this to 2 and so on, and I'll just continue with the rest. Under the advantage page, I'm just going to use narratives that I feel will be relevant to my presentation, like this. Okay. Under the BI tool, I was happy with all the updates, so I'm just going to make sure that this is actually copied over, like so. Under the processes, I've got everything designed as well, so actually I've duplicated this. Great. And then under resources, I've got everything embedded as well. And this is just really give you great understanding that you don't need to sweat over, sophisticated design. Just use the best tool, Canva. You can design really powerful visualizations, use them as a background in your Power BI, and then just really use the narratives, the text tables, your KPIs, just to bring in the latest information. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm looking forward to show you other cool tools in the future. Ciao!